Hey everybody, welcome to my quick video about Pipes. I want to tell you what it's all about, Pipes Visual Programming Language, and I want to thank my wife for filming this video, and let's go, let's check it out, let's take a journey through the ideas behind Pipes. Okay, here we go. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what is a pipe? Doesn't that carry water? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Well, yeah, a pipe does carry water, but that has little to do with what we're talking about today. Pipes is a revolution in the way that we teach computer science. Education is one of these things that everybody has an opinion on. You do, I do. Bring it up at a dinner conversation and someone has something to say about it. And the reason is because it affects every one of us. We've all been educated, we all have an education, and it really shapes the way that we think and operate in whatever endeavor we decide to learn on. Now, the neat things about Pipes is it takes that into account. It says, well, hey, what are people saying about computer science, and how do we improve that? Now, one of the revolutions in visual programming languages came about by a guy named Seymour Papert back in, I think it was the 60s or 70s. And his idea was essentially that the way that we learn is through intersecting other domains. So experience is king when it comes to education. Now, the idea behind Pipes is the exact opposite of that. Yes, experience is important, but it's not the foundation of how we learn. What we believe is that, like mathematics or chemistry or physics, computer science actually has some basic principles that are important to the way that you learn. Now, what I mean by this is that when I take a course on computer science, I actually sit in a classroom and I spend a year learning the basics behind computer science. When I learn physics, I sit in a classroom for a year and learn the basics of physics. Now, with visual programming and languages that come out of institutes such as MIT, what we find is that the ideas of experience have replaced the idea of foundational learning. And Pipes wants to switch that around. So what happens is we employ all of the valuable tools that have been discovered in the last 20, 30 years of visual programming, but we flip it on its head and say, wait a second, if a student is going to learn, the importance of their learning is not merely their experience. There needs to be content in what they're doing. And we feel very strongly that Pipes is a new dynamic. It's a paradigm shift, to use a cliche. We start with foundational learning. So, why should you use Pipes? Well, if you have students and you actually want to teach them something, as opposed to play in a sandbox, this is where you start. There's a strong curriculum. We've taken the ideas behind most, if not all, first-year computer science courses and implanted them into the Pipes programming language. Now, what this means is that when you approach a student to teach them something, there is content there for them to learn. They actually put the foundation. When you build a building, you need a foundation. So the idea behind Pipes is, instead of building without foundations, let's take foundational ideas and allow students to build on that. So the bottom line is, this application suite allows students to build a core knowledge. You can use any visual programming language out there right now, and you might end up with students who know how to tinker, but there's very little that's transferable to other computer science disciplines or endeavors. This is the opposite. We feel that Pipes will allow students to have a core grouping, a core chunk, if you will, of knowledge that they can use in the future. We're not out there necessarily to provide students with experience, although we definitely do that. We're there to provide them with transferable information that they can use. If you want to give your students or yourself a heads up in computer science, if you want to get ahead of the curve, if you want to know something before you walk in the classroom, Pipes is the way that you do that. Teach your students, don't expose your students. Welcome to Pipes. Thanks a lot.